Hey everyone, Linda here with Love Song Reiki. Today is July 16th, 2024, and boy, this video is proving to be difficult to make. It's hard to find the words. So let me make it clear that this video is going to cover a couple of topics. It's going to cover peace and non-judgment / non-duality. I'm going to set some boundaries in that I intend with this channel to be loving, positive, educational, and when I am speaking here, it's not important that you agree with everything I have to say, but it is important that if you do comment below, that you do so in a loving and compassionate manner. Just understand that if comments come in that are hateful, they will be deleted, because my intention again is to keep this channel uplifting. And please listen to the video, take what resonates, and leave the rest. Simple as that. So, you've all heard the slogan or the title of the hymn. It's called "Let There Be Peace on Earth and Let It Begin with Me." There's also a slogan that says, "Be the change you want to see in the world." Well, what does that mean? It means that when people are peaceful on the inside, they're not being chaotic or turbulent externally. So the current chaos and turbulence you see on our planet is a reflection of the turbulence and chaos that the people on the planet are feeling internally. So it's really important for every individual to try to find moments of inner peace. Because when you're in that state of inner peace, you are emitting that peace outward. You're rippling it outward like the little ripples in a stream, rippling outward to the rest of the world. And every little bit of peace that gets out there helps the collective energies. Okay, so one way, of course, to cultivate inner peace is through the practice of Reiki, the system of Reiki, which I happen to teach and practice. Within the system of Reiki, we have the precepts, which are guidelines for daily living that can eventually help someone get to a state of compassion for others, a state of non-judgment, which means a state of peace. So those precepts are for today only, which means in this now moment. Do not bear anger, do not be worried, be grateful, practice diligently, show compassion to yourself and others. When you release worry, when you release anger, when you practice gratitude on a daily basis, you are able to eventually move into a more consistent state of compassion and non-judgment for others and for yourself. So many of us hear the word enlightenment. They get like, oh, everybody's seeking ascension and enlightenment. Well, what does that mean? The reality is people are light beings. Scientifically, we are constructed of light. We are constructed of biophotons. We're electromagnetic. We're energetic beings. We're seeking to feel lighter. So many people don't know how to do that. So they're feeling anger and hatred and worry, and they're just just shoving that out into the universe, because they feel like if they release that, then that's going to make them feel better. Well, it may be a quick release, but it's not a permanent let's feel better thing. It's more just a quick release that you're vomiting out these negative, dense, heavy energies to the planet and to others. But it's not actually building up the light quotient in your body. It's not actually giving you peace, because you're actually still living in that anger, that worry, that hatred, that fear. So enlightenment is actually just remembering that you are a beautiful being of light, and then taking the steps necessary to help build up the light, to build up your voltage that you're experiencing in your body on a daily basis. And like I said, through the practice of Reiki, we have some great exercises, some great meditations and techniques that can help you to do that. Now, and when I'm saying that people are out there exuding hatred, worry, fear, judgment, anger, that I am not judging those people, because I understand that there is a purpose for everything, that every individual came into this incarnation with a purpose, with lessons to learn, with soul contracts. And those soul contracts are, you get together with different souls when you're in spirit, and you say, okay, I have these lessons to learn, and I need someone to teach me that by doing this or doing that. And then when that person comes, when this group of people come down into incarnation, they're interacting in a way that they're helping each other learn what they feel like they needed to learn in order to experience everything that God is, everything that God has created, learning and experiencing every possible permutation of emotion, so that they can then, I guess, I would call it, be reabsorbed back into the light and not go through incarnations anymore. Because at some point, I think that every soul says, okay, I've learned what there is to learn. Now it may be millions of years, but eventually you maybe go back to source. That's just my opinion. Now you're saying, Linda, what the heck does this have to do with today? Well, it has everything to do with today. It has everything to do with what's going on our planet right now, as far as wars, as far as political dissension, seeing all the political candidates as good, bad, evil, wicked. We're just judging and holding anger and holding such hatred for each other, because, for instance, losing friends because they have a different belief than you do. If you're a Republican, you hate the Democrats. If you're a Democrat, you hate the Republican. Well, you know what? I'm not going to lose friends and family over their beliefs. Now, if someone becomes very hateful and violent, then I may step away from that person, but I'm just going to not sit in judgment of them. I'm going to say their energy doesn't feel good to me, so I'm not going to allow myself to be in that. I'm going to hold boundaries. What I choose to do is say that these people have this belief for whatever reason, because they're here to learn something, to experience something for their soul contract. Same with this side. And here's where it gets, I guess, sticky, where you may or may not agree with me on this, and it's totally take what resonates and leave the rest. But every single person has come here with a soul contract. That includes the people who are on the worldwide stage right now, who you are labeling as bad, wicked, horrible, judgmental. It includes people from the past who have done things that are just awful. I'm not saying that what they do feels good. I'm not saying that people didn't experience harm. I'm saying that those people that are here doing in these positions of power, in these public positions, are actually very enlightened souls. I'm not talking about this human incarnation that they're perfect angels. I'm saying that their soul, their energy essence, is that of love. We all of us, our energy essence is love. We are whole energetic beings, creations of God. So how can we be anything but love? The thing is, we're here on this planet to learn different ways, different experiences that lead us back to full love. These politicians and people in power who are doing things that you don't agree with are here to show you what you do want or what you don't want, and to hopefully prod you into going, you know what? It doesn't feel good to feel this way. It doesn't feel good to hate my neighbor because they have a different opinion, because I feel like I'm entitled to my opinion. So why shouldn't I allow this other person to be entitled to their opinion? Right? So you don't want people to judge you for what you think or feel. Well, then why do you think it's okay to judge others for what they think or feel? So when I was sitting down to think about this video today, and do I really want to put it out there? But yes, I feel like I need to. I went to the Christ Consciousness Self-Mastery Oracle deck from Amanda Ellis, and I asked it what message it had for the collective energy today. And I just had to chuckle because you can't make this stuff up. The card that came up is number 11, Judas, Catalyst, and Soul Contract. Now, first impression, people are going to go, oh yeah, Judas was evil. He's that guy who betrayed Christ. He's evil. He's evil. He's evil. Well, no, he wasn't. He and Christ knew that he had to betray Christ in order for Christ to go through the process of death and rebirth so that the Christian faith could come on board, so that people would be horrified by what they saw and move more into a space of love and start preaching about love and the forgiveness of sins through love and compassion for others, and get the story of Christ out. So from Amanda's words in her book, Jesus truly understood that someone had to betray him for his destiny to be fulfilled. He told Judas to do it quickly, and when kissed on the cheek by him and met by a crowd with staves and swords, admonished even his other disciples for using force to stop what needed to occur. Judas, as emissary, someone sent on a special soul mission, deserves not vilification, but love, appreciation, and understanding. I had to laugh because that's a perfect teaching. It is. I'm not sitting back and judging Judas for his actions, knowing that there was a reason for his actions. And on a human level, we may not understand what the reasons are, but we have to understand that on a soul level, the reasons are love, compassion, teaching us lessons that we need to learn to become enlightened, to become full of love, to remember that we are love beings, to remember that we do not need to live in a space of judgment of others, that we don't need to live in a space of duality where it's either or, this or that, black or white. There's this middle ground. There's this violet pill. There's this gray where it's softer. It's a softer energy. It's less harsh. It's just softer. It's more peaceful. Let me see. The other card that came up today, when I said, okay, well, what else could this message be about? Came up was Thomas. Remember the story of doubting Thomas, about the mind traps and doubt. It's remembering that it's okay to be human. So even within the practice of Reiki that I've been studying for 14 years, look, I am not perfect. I am human. I have moments of frustration. I have weeks where I hold things in and don't let it out and feel all verklempt and chaotic and turbulent. And then eventually something happens where I'm like, okay, Linda, it's time to go. Use your tools, sit down, be quiet in your mind, be quiet in your body, and bring back the peace, because it has not felt good to be in the space of turbulence and chaos. And then I don't bash myself for allowing myself to go as long as I did in the space of turbulence and chaos. I say, you know what? I had to go through this experience to teach myself something, to teach myself what I do and don't want to feel, to teach myself how I do want to live in the world and how I don't want to live in the world. So rather than judging myself for it, I'm going to show myself love and compassion and go, okay. And in divine timing, I figured it out. And I settled down and I used my tools and I was able to go back in to some moments of peace. So I released the inner critic and I released the self-judgment, and I go back into inner peace, because I understand that inner peace is going to help with the external peace. If I can feel peaceful on the inside, the life that I'm experiencing externally will be more peaceful and more loving. The same goes for you. So I just wish you peace, and I wish you joy, and I wish you compassion. And if you do have any questions about the system of Reiki or anything I've said today, please do feel free to ask, but again, in a loving and compassionate manner. So anyways, time's running out. Bye for now.